Okay, so welcome to our first Kasper podcast. My name is Jonathan, and I will be the host. And today, our guest will be Brian. Welcome, Brian.
Hey, what's up, man?
So today we're gonna be discussing about the topic of SATs and PSATs, cause it's coming up. It's like we're gonna do the test like tomorrow or something.
What, Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday in 2 more days. So we thought it would be a good opportunity to kind of discuss about it in this podcast.
Yeah, like the at least for me, I feel like PSAT and SAT is a scam. I don't believe in it.
Yeah, same. Cause like, first of all, the price they charge it's insane.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they charge twice as much for international students. That's the part where I think it's kind of
oh
a
yeah,
scam.
they do, huh?
Yeah, which is kind of unfair, right? Cause, you know.
Imagine wanting to go to an American college, but like the first thing that you need is to be rich. It's insane.
Yeah. So like even though we already pay a lot to go to like international school, we have to pay even more to like match their standards.
Yeah. I mean, like, and look at how much stress like the students are getting for something that probably isn't gonna count for anything.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like we're gonna graduate year 2022, and this isn't even the SATs. We need to pay for. Well, we didn't pay for this one. I think it's included in our tuition. Now, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and we also have to pay for other tests as well, like for IB test. We also have to pay for that.
Wait,
everything
we
needs
have to
money.
pay for that?
Yeah. It's like external cost too. But that's a topic for another time.
Yeah, I don't believe in these like overall examinations after like a 1 or 2 years. I think in itself, any test that you have to study how to take the test instead of study the content isn't a good test. And like at least the IB test has some merit. This one doesn't. This one's dumb.
Yeah, cause like I went to like those bushi band outside of school.
Yeah.
And then I met those local school kids. They like memorize everything on the test. But like so like even if they get like a good score, right? That doesn't really represent like their English ability.
Yeah. Okay, so I was taking this tutoring class, right?
Yeah.
And then basically what they said was, for people like us, we're proficient English speakers.
Yeah.
So we read the things that we're supposed to read, and we
Mm-hmm.
answer the questions, and
Yeah.
we're expecting to get like a pretty good score.
Mhm.
But then for students who don't like know English, they're not good at it. They have these test strategies, where it's like you for like the grammar sections, they ask you to like switch the structures. You're supposed to pick something that correlates with one another.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
there's like a pattern that you just follow.
Yeah.
So even if you don't know how to speak English, you still get like a decent on 1,100.
Like the one I went, there was this kid. He memorized like all like the rules and stuff, the patterns like you said. But like those are some things that like people for proficient English speaker we don't really notice.
Yeah.
We don't really keep track of that, and then they just get like a super high score like 1,400 or 1,500, and then like people like and then if people like if we're not keeping track of that kind of stuff, we don't get as high of a score as them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you need to like memorize that kind of stuff. It's not really like a true test for English abilities.
I mean, sometimes I wonder what these tests they try to test. Like somehow I feel like they're testing us on preparations of like actual content.
Yeah.
Because this is not representative of the content at all. I feel like even the tests that we normally do take,
Mhm.
like summative assessments, those don't show much either. Because I think anything that's timed doesn't show your ability.
Well, then what do you think is like a good test to measure your abilities?
I think a project or like a untimed essay, anything that isn't timed,
Yeah.
and let's say you don't get to use your dictionary, you don't get to use Google Translate thesauruses or anything like that. I think an essay in that context where you get ample time to do your own research, you get ample time to do like what you need to understand the essay, that measures how good your ability is with English. Instead of like a time, let's say 15 minutes, you need to write an essay, and with like 5 minutes to read some prompt that you've never seen before. That's dumb. It doesn't measure your ability. And also, I think pressure
Yeah.
is a very important thing
Uh-huh.
in examinations. When there's pressure
Mhm.
and when you're stressed, you do like 20%, 30% worse than you normally would.
Yeah.
It's not representative of your ability.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
Cause like people just rush, right? And then they miss a lot of stuff they would usually do.
Yeah.
And they'll perform, worse.
You know, on last year's PSAT,
Yeah.
on the reading section, we had like 50 minutes. I finished in like 20.
Uh-huh.
And I got like some stuff wrong where I went back to read. I was like, huh. I realized I just didn't read the stuff correctly.
Uh-huh.
And I guess like maybe it's my own fault because I decided to answer it that quickly and I didn't go back to check even though I had a lot of time. I feel like the stress of other students needing to like knowing that they must finish some stuff really quickly, especially if they aren't fast readers,
Yeah, the fact that you have to like divide the time, right?
Yeah.
Because, again, back to the Bushiban I went to, they told me that it was like they calculated the time and it was like 13 minutes per passage.
Yeah.
So it was like really like I was really under pressure during like the practice test and stuff, which really like decreased my ability to kind of read. Because then I looked back and then it wasn't really that hard, but on the practice test I got a lot of questions wrong.
Yeah, I think one of the things is just because like you want to finish as quick as possible, so you have time to go back and check. I guess my fault was that I did finish it really quick, but I didn't go back and check. But then as you said, when there's like a time constraint and you need to finish things really quickly, you overlook many things that you normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is.
I don't know. I just think that it's not a good test. Like as a standardized test, it's just not the way to do it. I know like there was this test taking strategy where they were teaching like, oh, you're supposed to look at like a topic and then just like mark what is probably about and just guess the questions. You can still get like a 1200, 1300. It's really dumb. I don't like it.
And one thing it promotes is guessing.
Yeah.
Because that's not really a good way to reflect your actual abilities.
One thing I had like a theory on about school that 那个比较快，所以是好在5分4分。
Okay. So in general, right, you don't think SAT is like a good way to measure abilities?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably.
So I think this will be it. We'll wrap it up now, and thank you for listening, and tune in next time.